Good morning.
Now, I know you didn't do this just to win an election.
No.
Good morning.
This guy.
Why are we making a federal?
All right. Hi, and welcome to 4eNRGy.com. This, of course, is your nappy Nubian, Nye, coming to you with nothing but positive love and energy.
And this is your co-host, Bree Massey. I am the interceptor of whatever not doing. I'm an interceptor. I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna run it.
That's my girl. That's my girl. I'm so appreciative of you and us and what we do here. Like we said on Sunday, it was a very emotional show we had Sunday, you all. I'm not gonna lie. And I appreciate we have moments like that because again, 4eNRGy.com, not every emotion is gonna be like la 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 la. It's gotta be real. It's gotta be where it's at from the heart. You know what I'm saying? Say it with the chest.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, we want to definitely give a shout out to our producer, BU Hosting and Urban Country Films. If you're looking to do your own podcast, definitely get with them. The number should be there on the screen. As always, I'm never prepared. I already discussed this last episode about the black guys. No, I'm single, so ain't nobody beat me up. Sunday, you'll find out what happened. We're not doing this again tonight. We grown. I don't have time to be telling y'all twice what's going on, okay? So moving forward. You know what? Let me get me a cup of water. My mouth feeling.
My goodness. So guys, thank you for tuning in tonight with me and Nye. Tonight is a really, really intense conversation that we're having. It's basically co-parenting or COVID is the title of this show for tonight. Me being a divorced mother of two, I totally understand what it is to have to share custody, with my ex-husband. And trust me, it has had a lot of ups and downs and challenges. But, I think that when you try to work together with that person, your children are the ones that actually benefit from it. What do you say about it, Nah?
Well, I've never been married. I'm definitely not married to my daughter's donor. And I can say that because, again, he donated and dipped. That's all I know of a dad, donate and dip, dad. Okay. But at the same time, it wasn't exactly like that, and a lot of times what I've learned as a single parent is I think a lot of single parent is women, because I got myself kind of caught up in it, is we don't take what's the word I'm looking for? You don't take
Inventory.
Not inventory, like you don't take responsibility for your actions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what happened, like prime example, not to kind of get off topic, but it was in this movie I was watching and I remember the guy called, to check up on the kid in the morning. He just wanted to talk to like a 10-year-old kid in the morning. Now, mind you, again, If I'm the full-time single parent, I do this morning routine with this kid every day.
Right.
I don't want anything to interrupt it. Not even a phone call from dad who's not here for whatever reason.
Right.
But what threw me about the situation is she called him back later on in the day to say that your child support payment didn't go through. You think your child needs a phone call when they need you to pay child support? I was like, hold on, wait a minute. We got to discuss this, Bree. Because if a child support payment determines if you are a dad, like what I have, like I said, a donate and dip type person, or if you are a father, you know what I'm saying? Then who got their priorities all mixed up? When did the amount of a check become the epitome of a father or a dad for that matter?
Right. I can feel you on that, Nye. I think, I don't know if it's a trend or it's what's popular now, but I see a lot of young mothers that, you know, when they're not with the dad for whatever reason, going through divorce, or they just have these children together. It seems to me that they will, I don't know if it's resentment or, you know, try to have control over that man. And the only way that they can seem to have control is to use this child as a pawn, you know, and I don't like it. I think it's so, I don't want to say disrespectful, but it is sort of disrespectful because you made this child with this man, and for whatever reason things didn't work out. You guys have a responsibility to co-parent with this child, and that is, I'm not going to do what you want me to do because of whatever reason. Let's do what is best for the sake of the child, especially if your child's father is doing everything that he can to step up to the plate. He wants to spend time with his child. You know, he wants to develop a relationship with his child or his children. Why would you take that away from him, just because he might be late on a child support payment?
COVID just hit. You see what I'm saying? COVID just hit.
Right.
Can you imagine fathers who were already going through this type of basic bullshit? No telling how COVID has hit them. And to come out and go back into the working space to start back paying payments, it's like, okay, you mean to tell me you had to sit out for the past 4 or 5 months because your child support payment ain't go through? Or, like, I really wanted to know how that worked. So, we did get a special guest. We do have a special guest who was willing to share his story. And I mean, it just infuriated me. It really bothered me because it's like exactly what I'm saying. People, ladies, women, queens, sorry to tell you, but you're not a queen if you're not married. Again, we discussed this. So empresses, whatever you address yourself as, bitch, whatever all that stuff is, you call your stuff in the mirror amongst your girlfriends, this, that, and the other. These men are real men too. They really can do what you do, but they just don't want to do it with you. Now, if you want to hear my honest opinion about that, y'all should have took care of that, you know, when the pregnancy test came up positive, but that's not my business. The child is here now. You know what I'm saying? Are you really those type of, are you still that type? I mean, don't get me wrong. If the dude is abusive or threatening to the child, I mean, come on, for the sake of the children, absolutely. Absolutely. Do what you got to do. The courts should have your back.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, I just want to just hear from a man's perspective to, again, help you all understand exactly what you're doing in your situation where you need to analyze and take some self-accountability. That's the word I was looking for. Accountability for your actions. As a parent, do you know you're your children's first role model? You know, and if this is how you're gonna play this game called parenting, instead of just growing the fuck up, sit your ass down and just talk about it like adults. Agree on it. Act like you at work with for a minute. You know what I'm saying? However you gotta do it, but it's so sad when the courts start to get involved.
Yeah. I think that a lot of these, I mean, don't get me wrong. This, you know, tug of war can go either way. You know, it could either be the father or it could be the mother. I don't want it to seem as though it's just women that are doing this, but like, what are your motives? You know, are you on some kickback shit? Like, are you doing this because you mad that, you know, the relationship didn't go the way that you wanted to go, or for he wasn't there for you for the pregnancy, or, you know, you've been hearing a lot of things about him and some other chick. I get it. You really disappointed in this dude, and you're hurting because he's not, you know, the person that you thought he was. I get it.
We
But,
get it.
you know, there again is children that are involved, living, breathing, thinking. They,
Seeing,
yeah, they see
hearing,
you, you know,
hearing, ain't
everything.
able to touch and hug. Oh my God. It's so sad. I'm sorry, Bree. I'm sorry. I was rude. I shouldn't have interrupted you, but you know, I as the parent, I take so much love and joy in just, you know what I'm saying, just running my hand across my daughter's hair or holding her hand, feeling still her baby soft skin. You know, those types of things still keep me close to my daughter. Even with just my everyday friends and, you know, loved ones, which again is what we were saying, you know, pandemic has put us all in a stay at your home space. And as we're coming out and coming back in to other people's aura and, you know, personal space, I'm hoping that somebody, anybody, everybody's situation would get better. You know, it's necessary that in a time like now that we get better. Okay. Now, just to reiterate what we're talking about tonight, of course, is about co-parenting or COVID-19, you know. And the reason why I chose that topic is because I know I got off topic again, but we do have a guest tonight. And one of the situations he's going through has recently happened since the pandemic, of course. And instead of it, and to me, what it looks like is instead of it being a co-parenting situation, this parent is trying to blame it on a COVID-19 awareness. Like, just literally seeming like you want to pull straws to stop this parent from being a parent. But I don't know, I'm gonna let y'all, you know, everybody's situation is different. Nobody's here to judge. This is this, blah, blah, blah. You know, I just wish and hope and pray that some change can come. But let's try to play one of these videos that that we had earlier, that we were doing earlier. Mr. Producer, if you don't mind, let me see what he got for us.
Give me a second. Let me pull it up, because I can only play one, because the other one I don't want to get into any kind of trouble with.
But we can at least, you know, go from there with that one.
Yeah. So it's playing right now. Reload stuff. Now, this is something that I do 4 times a year. So much. You know, I'm here, Massachusetts. It wasn't playing. The volume wasn't playing, so I just had to put the volume back. This is something that I do 4 times a year.
So all right.
It's playing now, though. 4 times a year, I come and pick this guy up. Regular routine. The day school closes, whether it's for winter break, summer break, spring break, whatever break. Today's the 17th of April. School in Massachusetts has been closed since the middle of March, right? We have a 50-50 time sharing agreement. But anyway, I'm here to pick him up. She says that she's not letting him go anywhere because of COVID-19. I haven't seen my son. She's posted all kinds of pictures online with him in the house around the table with other children that don't live in the house. So she's protecting him from COVID-19 from his father, but not from these little kids around. So that's what we're doing this morning. You're not stealing my joy. You will not steal my joy. People, don't let nobody steal your joy. And I tell you, don't let nobody steal your joy. So she's blocked my phone calls, blocked my text messages. Mind you, we have a 50-50 custody agreement. I have a court order to pick him up today. Court order. Not a court's recommendation, it's a court order. So now the police is here. And the police saying she's not opening the door. And if you are one of these people that like to steal people's joy, you need to cut it out. What you need to do is work on your happiness. That's all you need to do. You need to work on you. You need to come from within. Happiness is nothing more than a state of mind. I'm gonna bring it back to you guys. I was just talking about how, happiness is just a state of mind.
You notice everyone came out of the house?
But let me go ahead and stop this.
Everyone's out of
so you guys can get back to the show. And I'm on the screen with you guys now, so if you want to.
All right. It's back up?
Yeah, you're back up. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So thank you for listening to this video. Now, as you can see, we have the gentleman here who, his name is Andre.
Yeah.
And Andre, we appreciate you for sharing, your story with us.
No
Can
problem.
you kind of help us who are, not familiar with what's going on in this, like what's surrounding this video that we just showed?
Okay, so basically, I have a 50-50 time sharing agreement with my 8-year-old child, and in the video that you saw was the last time I went to pick him up, and I went on the court ordered day. Mind you, we had the pandemic and school closed early. Our agreement is for whenever school closes, the day school closes, for me to pick him up and for him to stay with me until 2 days before school starts back. Which still doesn't give me 50% of the time, but because of school, he has to follow one state's school, so I went to pick him up that day. Oh, well, I was trying to pick him up early because where that happened, I was trying to pick him up early because school closed early. And, since I don't hit 50% of the time anyway, do have a 50-50 agreement. I reached out to her a few times to try to pick him up early, which wouldn't happen. I mean, she just absolutely would not agree. As you know, the courts were closed in the beginning of the pandemic, so my hands were tied. I couldn't file any motions or do anything like that. So nevertheless, I waited until the day that school was supposed to close, right, for the original vacation, and went to pick him up. And that's what you see. That's the video you see there. Is she still refused to let him go, stating that she's not gonna risk him traveling in the pandemic to be with his father. But like you just said before I came on, that it's really an excuse because it's something that I've been dealing with since since the divorce.
Mhm.
Um,
Wow.
yeah, and it's like just like you said, it's nothing more than excuses. This is just a personality of a person, and this is a opportunity to use this as a scapegoat. Because as I don't know if I let it play long enough in the video, but you can see there were posts from her while the pandemic was going on, after school closed, when we were supposed to be shutting down kids that didn't live in the house, him and the table around us. But
Wow.
yeah, honestly, my whole thing on it is that one thing that you ladies did not mention so far is that all of this could be avoided by all parents simply putting the child's best interest at first.
Yes,
You know,
I totally agree.
it,
I
it
totally agree.
yeah, it really can. And strangely enough, Florida State legislator a few years ago
House.
did that. Actually, they changed the laws in Florida to where that's what it's supposed to be. Everything is supposed to be revolving around the best interest of the child. And it's crazy enough. I've even had to remind a judge that is, yeah, because you guys were on the subject of child support. I was in another case, another child. I was in modification because my other child, he lives with me.
Mm-hmm.
But still pay child support,
Yeah.
right?
How you
So
do that?
I heard it.
it
I've heard
happens.
stories like that.
It happens. It happens. It definitely happens.
God damn.
Yeah. Yeah, it happens. It really happens because they go by what's on paper. So if you can get away with finagling the papers, That's what they go by. So
This is amazing. This is like amazing. I mean, my thing, okay, so my situation is just, like I said, I ended up just taking some accountability. I took my L. I took my L when it came to my daughter. Why I took my accountability? If you go to 4eNRGy.com, you will see, you know, more of my stories and my 10-minute rants. You will get to know who I am. I'm not like the average person when it comes to certain things. I respect the fact that my daughter's father did not rape me. We had consensual sex. The only problem was, like I will get very intimate with it. It was more of like, hey, you know, you came out of the little plastic cap. What happened? Oh, my bad. I don't know. That kind of slip up. That's how mine was. And I flipped out. I made it impossible for him. And it was during my pregnancy because I honestly didn't know what I was going to do because I did not want to be a single parent. But, you know, it's like I'm old, I'm my third, I've done so much. I didn't, you know, I had been pretty much everything under the sun except a parent, you know. So again, self accountability kicked in. And, you know, moving forward, we ended up trying. Then my daughter's father went away. By the time I came, and it was during the pregnancy. It wasn't like after I had the kid, because some of y'all do that too. I know of another situation. This dude to move completely on with his life. 8 years old, 12 years old, you finding out you got a fucking kid out there. Like, what is you bitches on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand this stuff. And y'all have some of the most y'all have the most craziest excuses. And then some of the times, okay, I get it. You may be so embarrassed of, oh my God, I actually had a one night stand. So you go back and put this baby on your whole man. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, that's how you gonna run your business. That's how you do. It's okay, but what you, again, like we saying, you're not putting the child's best interest first.
yeah, I listening to you, I wanted to chime in because
I'm sorry.
it's not it's not it's not that it's only women that do this.
You're right. I keep, but
While it might be the majority that you see in public, because you got to remember there's a lot of levels of dues too, because like a state like Florida, where the legislator has changed the laws to where it's supposed to be 50-50. It's supposed to be about the child's best interest, and what the child's best interest is, one of the things that's most important to the child is they have the right to have both parents in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's a big movement in Florida with dudes that aren't stand-up dudes that shoot for that 50-50 so they can get away with child support, with not paying child support, because once you have the 50-50 and you're actually sharing 50% of the time, you're not paying child support, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of dudes that do that really don't want to spend the time, don't really care about, you know, nurturing, that type of nurturing for the child, but only goes after the 50-50 simply to get the less child support. That's, you know, and that's one level of it.
Well, again, my honest opinion on that, I said it once, I say it again. A man, a biological man, biological woman cannot do certain things. As a woman, I am the one who gets to make the final decision. Okay. Whether I lay on a labor table or an abortion table, I make the final decision. And I say that to say this. I say that to say this. At the end of the day, ladies, I mean, I hear what Andre's saying, I hear what, you know, Bree's saying, but I am a woman of self-accountability. If this man ain't put if he ain't put a ring on it, it's my choice what I do. It's my choice what I do. And I say that to say this. When you come out your ass hollering about some fucking child support, when this man made it clear he don't want nothing to do with you or a child from you, self-accountability need to kick in. He did not rape you, sis. That is now your responsibility. And the point is, just like Andre is a good man doing his part by taking the extra step, going to court, being a present parent in his other children's life, and trying so hard to bring his other child in on that same love. You know what I'm saying? It's men out there that's really like that. And I'm sorry you don't run across them. Guess what, sis? Me neither. I don't run across some kind of men neither. They only be like brothers to me. Hint, hint. Oh, he like a brother to me. He like a cousin to me. Yeah, remember that while you out there running with Tyrone or whoever the fuck getting you pregnant and shit. You know what I'm saying? Hint, hint, ladies. That's all I'm saying. You better take a hint from the last 10 seconds I just put out there. Yeah, I mean, Andre is like a brother to me. I mean, after all, he's married, but he's like a brother to me.
Right.
You know, y'all be having whole single men out there that's like a brother to you. But you go through all this dumb shit with dumb people, and you do it for the next 18, 21 years of this child's life, not your life, not his life, this child's life.
Yeah.
And you got the nerve to look at women who have abortions like something wrong with us. I said it. No, ain't nothing wrong with us. We ain't got time to be doing this to another human being. And that dumbass fool you got a baby from, he from the street. Don't he got a street code? No snitching. Why is you telling that man business he ain't paying child support? Why are you putting them crackers on him?
Right.
What's wrong with you?
Ladies, you do have a caller.
Street code. He sure ain't gonna be there for you.
You ladies have a caller.
I'm sorry. Hi, how you doing?
Hello, you're live.
Hi, I just wanted to chime in on the topic because I hear what Naya's saying, but I don't with the part about when a woman knows that a man doesn't want anything to do with her and she still decides to go ahead and have the child, that she is accountable for the child. And the reason I don't agree with that is because when two consenting people decide that they're going to have sex, they know it's a possibility that a child can come into the world. If you don't want a child, then if you're going to do one of two things. You're not going to have sex, or you're going to make sure you wear protection and do what it takes to not get pregnant. Because a man just, I don't want anything. He did what it took to bring a child into the world. So he doesn't get to skate out on the responsibility of raising a child just because he didn't want one. People who don't want children, they don't do what it takes to make a child. So that's basically how I feel about it. I don't think that a person that decided to engage in sex gets to turn around and say, I don't want a child. That's what comes along with sex. It's very possible, and it's the reality that a woman can get pregnant when they have sex. So the man needs to be equally as responsible for the child as the woman, regardless of if he doesn't want a child or not. If you don't want a child, you simply just don't have sex.
Correct. I definitely agree. I agree, Shelly. And my position with that is still stands, because just like he can use a condom, you have situations where the IUDs mess up, the birth control pill messes up. So women do take their precaution, you know, and they will mess up. I understand. I totally agree. You know, again, it don't matter how many precautions we take. It's bound to happen. You got I call them cousins. They from the AIDS family. You can get a kids or you can get AIDS from unprotected sex. Either one of them, you know, like Brie already said, she done been with 3 brothers. I'm talking about 2 cousins right now. That's all I'm talking about. 2 cousins, kids or AIDS, take your pick. Either one of them is the choice. But the reality and the logic is exactly what you're saying. It's two consenting adults, and biologically, a man cannot. And even though he may want to, how you say, skate out on the responsibility, okay, oh well, you're the woman, this is your body, you're liberated, you still have the final say so. That's it.
Right. With the woman having the final say so, if she decides to have that baby, and the man knows that he did an action that a baby can come about from his choice, then he needs to man up and be responsible for taking care of the child. Because at the end of the day, he still knows that there's a possibility that she is going to have the child.
And she knows that there was a possibility she could get just as well as he knows. I'm just being honest. The fact and the science is just there. A man, it's biologically the only way you can have a woman can have a child is if she goes to a sperm bank and gets injected, if she wants it that bad. And it's obviously not any other choices around. But a woman knows her body. Like you can't, a man, why, if you are liberated, you have women rights to say, this is what you ain't gonna do. And I'm telling you, I don't believe these men wait till you 6 and 7 months and 9 months. Some do. I take that back. Some may do, but it is what it is. If this man has made it clear that, this is not what I want to do with you, and you are making the final decision as a single woman, you were not raped. You know the situation was consensual. You may or may, even if you took precautionary, that means you didn't want kids in the first place. If you still want this child, then go ahead, ma'am. That's on you. He's made his decision. Why do I want to go out and spend the next 18 years when he's made it clear he's trying to avoid me in this whole situation? Who has that kind of time? Then it's expensive. Then, he can't move on with his life. He can't do, what I'm saying? Because what? And you can put a child up for adoption. I'm not saying you don't. I know it sounds so loveless, but I'm sorry. It's just that simple. If he did not give you his last name, he's not responsible for your choices and decisions. You are sole proprietor of your ship. And whoever you invite in your ship, whatever mess they leave, as captain of your ship, you need to clean it up. Because he's going to clean up his mess on his ship as the individual. You're not married. You are liberated women. You have the right to choose. Why is it his responsibility? If he want to skate out, that's fine. He's going to skip out for long. Eventually he's going to, or probably not. But hey, until you get that ring on your finger, maybe you'll learn to keep your legs closed and stop, running into these type of men. I started running into the same type of men. Nope, I ain't finna be not doing it. I ain't doing it. And like I did, I just completely stopped dating altogether because I can't. I know it's a hard reality, but self-accountability is it. Y'all not married.
I mean, I get what you're saying, and I agree, but marriage doesn't even guarantee that you're not going to be a single mother. Because
true. But that would be better obligation
all the time and still end up being a single mother. But I'm just going to say this in closing before I go. I feel like as a man, if you're not responsible enough to deal with the reality that a baby may come from you having sex, you need to get the operation so you can't have children, or you just don't need to have sex, period, because you're not responsible enough to be having sex if you don't understand what comes along with having sex. And that's just my
Oh,
opinion. That's how I feel about it. Accountability has to be there on both parts because it takes two people to make a child. If you are an adult and you're having sex, you know that a child can come from that. If you're a man who does not want children, make it to where you can't give a woman a child. That's the way I feel about it.
Definitely. Definitely. I at the end of the day, I appreciate your call. It's always great to hear from our viewers. You know, that was I'm sorry I feel so intently about it. But I mean, you gotta understand it you have so many women that do this so many times that apparently that caller just, you know, it's hard to fathom why I would feel like this. And I understand I used to be that type to be like, girl, get him. Girl, don't. But let me tell you something. When you've been so up close and personal to what it takes to go through these child support things, like you understand, like this is a day job. These baby mamas got a day job, dead ass. They on the phones with these people. He working, he just moved, he this, he that, he this. Like they are the investigators. They want that check.
yeah.
And at the same time, this man can't even see his child.
Yeah.
And that's where I'm coming from with that. Trust me, I promise you, a man is the first time a woman come up pregnant from him, it's gonna scare him to get his testicles cut off, probably. Or maybe he'll just learn from it and just be like, okay. Some of them don't, because you got a few men out there that got like 5, 6, 8 baby mamas, baby. They popping them. And that's what I'm talking about.
Wow. I mean, you know what? I totally can relate to what the caller was saying, that it's both parties' responsibilities. But let's think about it like this, or this is the way I think about it. A lot of times, when a man and a woman lay down, they don't be thinking, a lot of times they don't be thinking about what are the consequences of their action. They're just trying to,
And that's my point. That's my point.
they just trying to get it in. You know what I'm saying? That, I mean, and that goes for men and women. We be trying to beat it up, get it in.
Get it from the back, Daddy. I like
Let me see what you're working with. Let me see what you're working with.
Oh, yeah.
Don't stop. And then when you realize,
oh shit. Goddamn.
oh,
You got the morning after pill. That's another option. This is my point though. If this man can't afford a condom, if this man can't afford the morning after pill, hell, if the dude can't afford the abortion, why are we gonna go through the next 18 years of this?
I'm gonna tell you something.
You ain't got it right now, boo. Don't do yourself like that.
What I realized being a young woman, you know, growing up, for me, I think, you know, looking back in retrospect, I think that I not sensationalized, I glamorized, you know, sex. And I think a lot of us women, you know, glamorize, you know, our sexual experiences and not taking account of, you know, what's happening here, what's going on, what we doing. You know, you got to think about the mechanics of that funky thing so that you are not caught up in so that you're not caught up in what, you know, 18 commitment, because, you know, at the end of the day, I am going to always have this man in my life. You know, even though my children, they're not children anymore. My daughter is 21, my son is 19, and I still have conversations um revolving this man that I divorced. I'm always gonna have this man in my life, you know. But
That's
and then and another thing for me, because I can't speak for everyone.
Mhm.
If and you, like you said, you have to make a choice on what you want to do with your body, because it's a woman's choice. But when I found out or realized that I was pregnant, um, I made the choice, I made the decision that I was going to love and protect my children, regardless of, you know, their father being a part of their lives. And, you know, I went through a period of time where he quit his job and he wasn't working for, I want to say, maybe a year and a half, 2 years, you know, and I suffered. Me and my kids became homeless behind this. But
Mhm.
anytime you know, and I was out of the state, but I still made arrangements for this man to spend time with his children. I
Mhm.
had to put I had to put my differences aside that I had, because I was angry and I was upset. You know, how could you do this to me? You know, I'm getting
To
child
us.
support. Did you quit your job knowing that this is how I support the children and support the household? But I had to put that resentment aside for the sake of my children, so that they can have long lasting and meaningful relationships. This is generational.
Mhm.
This is a generational learning process that we pass on to our children, you
Mhm.
know? So it's like we have a responsibility to put our best foot forward for them.
Mhm.
And sometimes, a lot of times, I don't see that in, you know, relationships, you
It's
know,
about self.
right. You want to get caught up on how you feel. It's not about you. When a child came along, it was never about you. It was always about them. We got a comment in the chat,
Mhm.
and Shelly says, if these men don't value their seed enough to not care who they're putting it in, they will suffer the consequences. That's so
Exactly.
true.
Very true.
That is
Now,
so, so
again,
true.
I definitely agree with that, and that's with anybody. You know, I again, as a single mom, I'm not in a co-parenting situation. Like I said earlier, I came around somewhere about like my 7th, 8th month pregnant. That okay, like I always knew I was gonna have my daughter because, like I said, at the time she came along, it's like I had already been everything under the sun except a mother. But I was very angry at her father because just of the stuff we was going through, the times that we was in. And I mean, it was horrible. Our relationship is what some would describe as soul tied. Me and my daughter's father are very soul tied together. And if anyone knows what that means, you will understand what I say about my struggle with him. it's like, prime example, when my daughter was about 2, okay, that was when he came around. And when he came around, again, I give you my work schedule. You came to my home 11 o'clock at night to see a 2-year-old. You know, right there, we already know this is that bullshit. You ain't come here to see no kid, okay? At no fucking 11 o'clock at night, all right? But we're not gonna play this game. He used to ask me 15 different times what size she wear. Still ain't even bought the shoelaces for none of her shoes, okay? All kind of little things that he would do that I would definitely respond to, because again, when you have soul ties, you already know when he's gonna call. You already know what's going on in his life. You already know because you feel it in your spirit. You know, we communicate like that. So the actual communication is just like never a big deal to me. And what I didn't like about that is, like I said, now my daughter is much older, and of course she don't even fucking know him. Like, I mean, you're talking to somebody who does get, yeah, bitch, I got my EBT card, I get my food stamps, I get my stuff. I understand that, you know, you have to go through all of that, you know, right there and stuff like this, you know, through the court systems. And sometimes you really just can't help it. I understand that. But again, when everyone takes self-accountability, okay, I'm on my food stamps, I got my government assistance, I got my, you know, my home, my Section 8, and everything is going good for me. You know what? This might be a good time for me to start getting my life together. Now, I understand the government says I can't have no man staying here, but that don't mean I can't date. You know what I'm saying? I can find myself in better situations to put my mind in a better headspace. You know what I'm saying? I already am government, I'm state property, me and this kid. No, what most of them do, they go out and they come back with another baby.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you realizing that, you know, what you gonna do. Now you chasing 2 baby daddies. Yeah. And it's like, you know, I just can't stand to see. I've had male friends, you know, that again, like Andre was saying, they fight for the 50-50. Most Floridian men do not fight for the 50-50. They really just want to absolve the whole situation. Like, these men down here really think that if they just close their eyes and stay high long enough and just imagine themselves on cloud 9, it'll all just go away. It'll all just go away. I don't see it. I don't hear it. It's not happening. It's not real. This is not really happening. You know what I'm saying? A lot of Florida men are like that. That's dead ass. They will not go to court. They will not put up a fight. Even if, and then some of them really do, you really out here in these streets doing your part. But you know, you can't put that kind of money on, but you can't even find a goddamn baby mama that's gonna work with you. Bitch, you got 2 dependents, a child and a baby daddy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you giving this man problems? He can't, like, that was the clear understanding I had for what little bit my baby daddy did before he just like, whatever. You know, at least you was out there on the street doing your thing. So I can account on that money as long as I ain't causing you no problems on that end.
Right.
But when you left me out here, over here in Florida, because you went away to do whatever you doing and
living
never
your
back. Life. Yeah, you know, me and now my child don't even fucking know you. Who are you? You're nothing to us. So you did what you did, and I appreciate it. I took accountability long time ago that as a single mother out here fucking around with other single people, whoever I have unprotected sex with is going to cause me one of them cousins, a kid, or AIDS. Okay. Yeah. So what else? What are we doing? Why would, again, the first child proved it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't want
the likelihood of getting involved with the same type of dude is just, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, human nature, we tend to levitate toward what we're familiar with.
Yeah.
So if your child's father is like not a good dude, so guess what? More than likely, if you meet somebody else and if you haven't grown from that experience, you're gonna levitate back to the
Yep.
same kind of dude and put yourself in the same position all over again. It's called insanity.
Yes, it
You know what I'm
is.
saying?
You know,
It's
and
called insanity.
at the end of the day, people, I don't want anyone to think that I'm just saying that a woman should just have an abortion every time she have sex. Again, what I'm saying is have safe sex. Take accountability that, you know, this man should have say so in what you do next.
Yeah.
Take, even as a single or married woman, take into consideration, talk to your mate about this. If you can recognize the immaturity in his voice, ma'am, you're going to have to put your big girl panties on, pull them all the way up to your ninny sack. You don't know what the ninny sack is? Mine's so big I can pull it up to the screen. Pull your panties up to your ninny sacks and make your decision. Whether it's a labor table or an abortion table, or you should have used the morning after pill. But again, if this male can't afford the morning after pill, the condom, the abortion, like these are little things he should be able to afford right now. Like, just not saying you're gonna do it because that's your choice, but these are little things you can do in your first trimester, that if him as the responsible party,
right,
him as the responsible party that you laid down with, if he can't get you the morning, the condom, morning after pill, or maybe 3 fitted, baby, you on your own. And I'm sorry, Nye feels that you should not put that man on child support because you're a single person. You're an independent woman. You are your own, you are the captain of your own ship. You invited him as your shipmate. Remember how you liberated. You're liberated. You got this, sis. That's all I'm saying. You got this. No matter what you do, you got this. I just really think that, especially as a woman who can give birth to male and female, you need to think about what you're doing to another male, because they could come back on your own children. Okay? Yeah. Think about that.
Well, girl, this was definitely an enlightening show tonight. I want to thank everybody that got a chance to chime in and viewed. And keep in mind that you can always hit the book it button with any comments or concerns or questions that you guys have. And just thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you. I'm sorry. I'm gonna get me some more water and some Vaseline for my lips, y'all.
Good night, guys.
Good night. Thanks, Andre. I appreciate it.